Okay. So welcome to our Mums and Bubs class. My name's Nadine, by the way, and this is Tilly. And we'll get started seating down. I'm just going to pop Tilly down actually by my side. So it'll be a little bit easier for me to teach this. All right, so hands just easy on your knees if you don't have bubs. And we're going to just start with a little bit of breathing. You can keep your eyes open or you can close down your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. If you're a bit worried about bubs there, keep them open so you can see Bubby in your peripheral vision. So just start to notice your sits bones grounding down into the earth. So your sits bones are the two bony protrusions at the base of your pelvis. And from there, just feel that you're really centered on your sits bones. Notice your spine elongating from there. And maybe just roll your shoulders back and down away from your ears. You might feel this sense of energy reaching out through the crown of your head. And let's just send our attention to our breath. So easy breath in and out through the nose. And then you'll start to deepen your breath. So feeling perhaps like the sides of your ribs are starting to expand out wide to the sides. So just a couple moments to ground ourselves and find our breath. And now we're going to use our breath to try and connect to our pelvic floor before we start moving. So pelvic floor, most of you probably know, it's really important to start to regain strength after you've had a baby, particularly if you've had a vaginal birth. So to find our pelvic floor, we're going to work with our bones, so our bone structures. So I mentioned the sits bones. Draw your attention to those two bony protrusions, and on your exhale, you're going to imagine those two bony protrusions draw in towards one another. So we'll take an inhale together, then exhale, imagine those two bony protrusions draw in towards one another. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, draw those two bony protrusions in towards one another. Inhale, soften your belly. So there's a bit of a difference here between squeezing your glutes and connecting to your pelvic floor. So see if you can really soften your glutes as you do this. We'll do that again. Inhale, exhale, draw those two bony protrusions together. And then we're going to do from front to back, so pubic bone to tailbone. Same thing. Your inhale softens your belly. Your exhale draws those two bony protrusions towards one another. It's really subtle work. I can't show you, obviously, in my own body. It's something that you just slowly have to try and find. So no squeezing of glutes, just trying to imagine or visualize those two bony protrusions drawing towards one another. Keep going and keep trying to find that with your own breath. So your pelvic floor is layers of muscles, and it connects to your deep abdominal muscles as well. So you might be starting to feel this zippering up feeling underneath your belly button as well, which is excellent. So we'll add in that. Inhale, exhale, pubic bone to tailbone draws closer in towards one another. Inhale, the belly releases. And now we're going to try and do sits bones, tailbone, and pubic bone, moving all closer towards one another, zippering up all the way to our belly button. So we'll do that again. So inhale to prepare, exhale draws everything in, and it's this feeling of lifting up. And just do that 3 more times in your own time. And then once you've done that 3 times, you can let that go. It's an excellent way to develop multitasking skills when you've got Bubba here too. So now we'll start to create some movement. If you've got Bubs in your hands, pop them down to the side. You're taking your one hand over to the side, doesn't matter which one, come into a side bend. Big inhale into the side of your body, and then we'll lift it up, windmill over to the other side. Big reach. And all the way up and over. If Bubs is by your side, feel free to play with them. Hi. And we'll do that just a couple more times. Ticky, ticky, ticky. And then, coming all the way back on up, turn to one side and take a little twist. You can place your hand to the outside of your knee, and then think about this twist coming from your belly, ribs, shoulders, and then perhaps your head, if that feels okay for your neck. And then take it back through center. You'll swap it over straight away to the other side. So you're just using a little bit of gentle pressure to help you twist. And inhale, exhale to twist to the other side. Inhale, exhale to twist to the other side. One more time to each side, just let that be fluid. Finishing off your last side. And then we're going to turn around to face Bubs if they're at the end of your mat, or pick a side. So we're coming back just into a 4-point kneel position. So wrists are aligned underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. And we'll take a couple of cat-cows here. Inhaling to arch your back. And exhaling to scoop and round. So let's just do a few, just in your own time. Moving your body, connecting your breath. And we will add some detail in a moment, but I just want you to feel like this is just for you to explore the shapes on your own. So we'll bring a little bit of alignment into this movement now. When you're arching your back, can you please draw your shoulder blades down your spine? And feel as though you're trying to pull your breastbone forward. So it's less about lifting the neck back. You're trying to find a little bit more extension in your upper back, your thoracic spine. And then as you're rounding your back, focus more on tilting your pelvis. So you're really working... Yeah! You're really working towards tucking your tailbone under and feeling as though you're drawing your abdominals in gently. So we work towards upper back extension by drawing the shoulder blades down your back and pulling your breastbone forward. And then work at connecting to our deep abdominals by exhaling, tucking your tailbone under as much as you can and feeling that scoop deeply into your abdominals. Inhale to arch, pull breastbone forward. Exhale to round and scoop. Okay, one more time just like that. And exhale to scoop. Go ahead and tuck your toes under. We're just going to lift up into one downward dog shape. Stretch out through the backs of your legs one at a time by lifting one heel up, bending into one knee, and then swapping it over. A nice easy pedal. And then once you've done that a few times, you can drop both of your heels down towards the ground, and then go ahead and let your knees float back down towards the earth. So your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are back underneath your hips. Take your right hand out in front and your left leg back behind you. Again, this might be a nice opportunity to play with Bubs here, so please feel free to have a little tickle, say hello. And here we're just going to start to lift the right arm, left leg up and straight down. So we'll just get moving to start, and then we'll get some, put some more alignment-based stuff in there. So just lifting up and lowering down. So ideally, this is called your pointer exercise, or some people know it as bird dogs. Ideally, you're keeping your body super stable by using your deep abdominals. So your pelvis is staying really still as you lift your leg up. We're not rotating the hips at all. And you're just being aware of whether you're leaning to one side. Can you keep your body super centered? So as you're lifting and lowering, you're working towards reaching your limbs away from you to lift and controlling the lower down. Let's add in our breath. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Because we're playing with Bubs, we're probably looking forward a little, and that's fine. But if you're not, maybe you're keeping your neck nice and long as well. So pressing the back of the head up towards the ceiling and then lowering it down. Can we please just do 4 more, if that's okay? Last 3. Great. Last 2. And last 1. Holding it here. And we're going to take little lifts up and down just for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Bring your elbow and knee in towards one another, round your back. Inhale now, you're going to arch your back and lift your leg and arm up as high as you like. Exhale, we scoop round. Inhale, we reach it up and away. Let's go 1 more. Exhale, scoop round. Inhale, lift up, and come all the way back down. Tuck your toes under, lift up into a downward dog. And then bring your knees back down towards the ground. We'll reset. So left arm reaches forward, right leg reaches back. Let's go. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. So let's get moving again. Feel free to have a little play with Bubba as you're doing this. If you've got a little toy, you might like to pick the toy up and down. Have a little play. Tilly's very interested in this little doggy at the moment. It's her favorite toy. Pretty cute. Now again, really work towards bringing the front of your ribs towards the back of your ribs. So there's no arching in the lower back. Your back stays in neutral. So no big movements through arch position. Pull the front of your ribs towards the back of your ribs to engage through your whole abdominal muscles there. Last 4 here. Last 3, reach the arms and legs away from one another to lift. And then we lift up, we hold, we go for our 8 little pulses. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we're bringing elbow and knee towards one another. Round your back a lot. Inhale, reach it away and go as high as you like. Exhale, scoop round. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, scoop round. Inhale to reach away. Go ahead, place your hand and knee down towards the ground. Tuck your toes under, and we lift up into another downward dog. So this shape can look very different on all bodies. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead and do that so that you can create a straight line through the shoulder girdle into the back. If it feels awesome for you to straighten your legs, that's totally fine. Just a couple of deep breaths there. And then you're going to step your feet in towards your hands. Take as many steps as you need to do there. Soften your knees, relax your head, and then roll through the spine to come to standing. Take your hands out nice and wide, lift them up towards the ceiling, pause there. So just with your hands up towards the ceiling, you're going to lift your shoulder blades up and then draw them down. So lift the shoulders high and exhale, draw them down. Inhale to lift, exhale to soften. Just do that a couple more times. And last time, we're taking a roll down towards the ground with our hands staying up above our head. So we go scoop and round through the abdominals and start to pour the top of your head forward along with your arms. So your biceps stay in line with your ears. Soften your knees as much as you like. You can look forward here, and if Bubs is in front of you, maybe give them a little tickle. And then relax your body down and roll back on up. Reach your hands all the way back up to the ceiling in reverse. So biceps are going to stay in line with your ears again. We go scoop, and imagine there's a barrel in front of you. You're going to try and curve over the top of your barrel to get that deep abdominal work happening. And then again, you can soften your knees, perhaps look forward, taking a halfway lift or playing with Bubba. And then come all the way back down, roll up in reverse. And we'll just do that one more time, taking it all the way down towards the ground. Exhale, scoop. Soften your knees. Bend your knees, look forward, perhaps a halfway lift. And then we're going to come into a little yogic squat. So you'll toe heel out your feet towards the edges of the mat. Bend your knees and come down. This shape might not feel great for everyone. So some people, Achilles are a bit tight and you might have your heels off the ground. If you don't feel stable, feel free to put your hands on the ground. You can always lift up a little bit higher as well. Isn't that right, Tilly? Yeah. So we're coming into a little yogic squat here, and you can move side to side to just get used to it. Moving your hips around, having a little play with your bub if you like. And now here, we're going to come up into standing from here. So toes are a little bit pointing out towards the sides. Go ahead, push through your feet and come to standing. You can have your hands in prayer, that's fine, or hands on your hip, whatever feels most natural for you. Come back down. So you're controlling all the way down. Great. Just do that a couple of times. If it doesn't feel good for you to come all the way to the ground, just take it into a squat. So bottom back, spine is long, feel the core engage. But if possible, we're coming all the way down to the ground, because in real life, we're probably going to be doing this a lot with baby, yeah? So nice to move through your full range of motion. Yeah, up and down. We go up and we go down. That was more for Tilly than you guys. All right. So now we're going to come down towards the ground. If you've got baby there, feel free to pick them up. You can bring them close to your chest. And you're going to pick them up from here. Once again, if knee joints don't like this or hips joints don't like this, it's too heavy, you don't have to use baby, or you can come into just a squat. So sending your bottom back and then coming up from there. So you're not coming down quite as deep. Make sure you're not rounding your back. This isn't so good for your spine. You're trying to find your back side by sending your hips back, keeping your spine in neutral, feeling the front of your ribs coming towards the back of your ribs. But otherwise, if it feels okay for you to come all the way down, feel free to do that. 2 more here. Big range of motion gets your heart rate up a bit more, so hopefully you're starting to feel nice and warm. All right, so come and stand up after you've done a couple there. Bring your baby out in front, or just copy along without baby. You're going to lift them up overhead, and then bring them back down slowly. You can take an inhale to lift, woo, and an exhale to lower down. You can add in whatever sound effects you like with baby. Wee! Wee! Is that funny? Oh, wee! Oh, wee! Obviously, if you've got a low ceiling, be careful there. So they're going up quite high. If you like, you can come back to just squats. Otherwise, you're going to come with me. We're going to go for a squat and an overhead press. So we bend down and we stand. Continue to lift your arms all the way on up. Bring baby back to chest. Come down. Lift. Baby lifts up towards the ceiling. Back to chest. Bend. Whoop. Lift. Back to ceiling. So you're just breaking down the movement slowly. And we'll just do 2 more like that. Big range of motion. Last one in your own time. And hugging baby in towards your chest. Turn around towards the side of your mat so you've got the width to work with. Or if you've got plenty of room by your sides, you can just stay facing the way you are. We're going to take a little twisty movement. So your toes are again pointing to 10 and 2 o'clock, a little turned out. You're going to bend both of your knees, and then you're going to stretch them. We'll just start with an easy bend and stretch. So now we're going to add in a twist. You're going to bend your knees, twist towards the left, and looking over your left shoulder, stretching your legs, bend through center, twist towards the right, looking over your right shoulder. Yep. Little bend through center and twist. Little bend through center and twist. So a really nice movement here, because again, functionally, in real life, we do a lot of this sort of twisting stuff to grab things, twisting around with baby in arms. You can make those second position pliés, so these ones here, a lot deeper if you wish. Just make sure that your knees are tracking in line with your middle toes. You're not rolling onto your big toe. So you should feel like your weight is evenly distributed through your feet and toes. Twist, center. Twist, center. Yeah. I was doing this with Tilly a lot quicker yesterday, and I think this is what made her vomit a little bit. So go easy with Bub. All right, last couple here. Finishing off to the right. Come back into this wide stance with your feet. So again, you've got an easy turn out with your feet. Bend both of your knees, and then we're going to come back on up. This time adding a bit more detail. Feel as though as you're stretching your legs, you're trying to draw your heels in towards one another. So our aim is to feel our inner thighs squeezing and bending. Inner thighs draw up and down. So your inner thighs have a direct correlation to your pelvic floor. Try and see if you can feel this zipper up in through the pelvic floor and into your deep abdominals as you straighten. So exhale to straighten legs. Inhale, send your knees out wide. Oh, that was a big yawn. This one's apparently boring. All right, drawing it in. So this one's a little bit of a balance challenge, the next one, so go easy. You can have a look before you start. We're just going to shift and transfer our weight to our left foot and draw our heels towards one another, and then step it back and out. In and back and out. Tilly's getting a bit bored of this one, so I'm going to pop her down. There you go. So, if you don't have bubs, you can take your arms out to the sides. I think everybody's got bubs there. Well done. All right. Let's repeat it on the other side. So drawing inner thighs together, they magnetize together and zipper right on up. Plie and squeeze. Plie and squeeze. Each time, try and get into center, so you're not leaning to one side, so really find your center in that plie. Yes, nice work, everyone. Okay, last couple here. And you're going to take it into your plie, turn around to face the front again. So right leg is in right lane, left leg is in left lane, so that we've got a nice balance. And you're just going to keep your bub close to your chest again. Bend into your back knee quite a lot, and then go ahead and straighten both legs. Bend and straighten. So this one's called a 90-90 lunge. So we're aiming towards 90-degree angles at both knees, but that's quite a lot, especially with bub. So feel free to minimize or decrease the range of motion if you need to. So bend and stretch. And what I'd really like for you all to focus on is tucking your tailbone a little here. So when you bend your knees, your shoulders stay over your hips. And you feel almost like you're getting a stretch through the front of your quad. Okay, let's just do 2 more there. And last one, we hold. You're going to pitch your chest forward here just a little, just on the diagonal. Bring the front of your ribs towards the back of your ribs and step your left foot to meet the right, and then step it back. Or it might be your whatever's behind you. So back leg to meet the front leg, and then step it back. Little shift forward, little shift back. Little shift forward, little shift back. That's right, Tilly. We're going forward and back just for 2. And make that your last one. Stand on up. Step your other leg back in space, making sure right leg is in right lane, left leg is in left lane, just so you're really balanced. Go ahead, bend both knees and stretch. Both knees bend and stretch. That's looking pretty good. So just be careful that you're not shifting your weight forward with this one. So the feeling is like you're taking your baby back in space with you as you come down. So watching, yes, nice work. Watching that your left knee, or front knee rather, isn't pushing past your toes. You're taking your pelvis back, your body back with you as you bend and stretch. So you're really feeling the back leg work a lot. Back leg works heaps. Okay, last couple here, because it's a bit full on. And last one. Let's go ahead and stay down. Pitch your chest forward a little. Find your core by drawing the front of your rib cage towards the back of your ribs. Neck nice and long. Step back leg in to meet front leg. Step it back to that same position. Step forward, step back. And then try and keep your bum back in space. So again, you're not shifting your weight way forward. You're trying to keep your center of gravity right back in space the whole time. So front leg is now working quite a lot. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come on up. Don't know about you guys, but I'm being covered in slobber. So we're going to take a little V shape with our feet, so you can stay where you are. Heels clipped together. Toes are just a little bit apart, so you're making about a pizza shape slice size, not super turned down. Glue your heels together, straighten your legs by pushing your heels down into the earth and feeling that sense of elongation towards sky. Then see if you can take your heels off the ground and then push them back down. You don't have to have bubs for this if you're getting a bit tired there. So a little lift and lower. So you're lifting up as high as you can now if you've got your balance. And you're trying to keep your heels squeezing together the whole time. They do not separate. So once again, this is inner thigh work, calf work as well. Yep, calf work as well. And we're trying to keep working through the inner thighs because of that connection to pelvic floor. Ooh. Good for balance too. We go 4 more. Enough. 3. Is that enough, Tilly? 2. And 1. All right. Go ahead and take your yogic squat to come down and place your baby back to the ground, if that's okay. Or come down to the ground as best you can. And then you're going to come all the way back onto all fours. How's everyone going? If you need to have a breather, you can. Have a sip of water, you can. We're going to do a little bit more work down here on our mat. We're doing well for time. So here, you can choose to stay in 4-point kneel, or you might like to take it up a notch, bring your knees back into a half plank. Your hands can set up wider for this one towards the edges of your mat, and your fingertips can point inwards. We're just going to take 8 push-ups. You don't have to come all the way down. You can keep it really shallow and small. So we come down. You might like to play with Bub here. And lift on up. Exhale, come down. And come on up. So you've got 6 to go. And if possible, as you're coming down, can you please lead with your chest? So even though it's really tempting to tickle your bubba with your nose, it's not so great for your neck, so keep your neck in line with the rest of the spine. Lead from your chest. Yeah, heaps better. Nice work. Yes. I think we've got 2 more. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Woo! And coming all the way on up. Step your knees in, take your knees out wide, and come back into a little child's pose. So a little rest. So allow your hips to sink to your heels. Don't worry if your forehead hasn't reached the ground. So focus more on rounding through your lower back for this one. All right. You're going to come back forward. And let's sit up on our side. So coming onto your side here. Setting up with your heels in line with your bottom. Your hands top hand can come onto your hip. You can rest your head on your hands if you like. It's a little nicer for your neck just to lie all the way down if that's comfortable for you. I might just move down a little bit so you guys can see me a bit better. So your heels in line with your bottom. Push your top hip bone away from your ribs. So you're actively lengthening through your waist. And then from here, keep your heels glued, lift the top knee up, and then squeeze it down. Lift it up, and squeeze it down. Tilly's doing her favorite thing right now, pulling my hair. Lift it up, and lower it down. So with this exercise, it is a glute exercise. You guys are probably familiar with it, well, at least I know some of you are. You want to keep your pelvis really stable and still for this one. So we're not rolling the top hip bone back with the leg. We're actually trying to keep it forward a little and just move the thigh bone in the hip socket. So isolating that leg, and again, you're squeezing those heels together to get the inner thigh perhaps engaging a little bit. Isn't that right, Tilly? Yes. All right, we go a couple more. Resisting on the way up, and then resisting on the way down. And then on the next one, you're going to keep your knee up and hold it there. We go for 8 little pulses. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come all the way down. Roll over onto your bellies. And I've got little fluffs coming out of her bottom, so this is an ideal exercise to be doing right now for me. But we're going to do it anyway. I'm in the danger zone. We're going to take your hands one on top of one another and relax your forehead down on top of your hands. So just a little bit of back extension work. Before we move, can you please anchor your pubic bone down into the mat? As you do that, just notice how that lengthens out your lower back. So pubic bone anchors down onto your mat. From there, keep your hands on the ground and then press the back of your head up towards the ceiling and then lower it down. That is some beautiful singing. I wonder if everybody can hear that. Probably. Where's your dummy? There we go. There we go. All right, so back of your head lifts up towards the ceiling, and then you lower it down. So doing our back extension work is super important because of our feeding positions and just holding baby, it draws our body forward a lot. So working into your upper back extension is mega important. That's why I'm asking you to keep your pubic bone anchored into your mat if you can, so that it's not the lower back doing the majority of the work, but rather we're trying to extend through the whole spine. So inhale to press on up, exhale to lower down. And then if it feels okay for your body today, keep your hands glued to your forehead and maybe lift your arms up as well. And we're just going to go for 4 more of these. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. 2 more. And last one. We lift up, hold, reach your hands back behind you near your hips, palms down towards the ground. We're going to go for 1 big lift. Glue your legs together, lift your legs, lift your arms, lift the back of your head up for a moment. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. You're coming all the way down. And then we're going to roll towards the other side. So I'm going to face away from the camera. This is pretty exciting. Tilly hasn't done this before. Rolled over onto her side. Oops. So she's getting some good exercise there too, apparently. So you're on your other side, heels together, in line with tailbone or bottom. And you're pushing your top hip bone away from your ribs. So just notice that you're not hiking the hip up, you're really trying to push it away. Head might be relaxing in hand, that's okay, or just on your bicep. Lift the top knee up when you're ready, and then draw your knees together with control. We go lift on up, and draw it down. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. And we've got about 4 more after this one. Last 4, 3, 2, and hold it up on 1. You're in your deepest range of motion here. We go for little presses back and back. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees back together. Roll over onto your tummies one more time. And then this time your hands can come wide and maybe even out in front to start us off. Easy, soft bellies. We lift on up and lower it down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Really soft body as you do this. Relax your glutes. If you want, you can bring your hands a little closer as well. We lift and we lower. Goodness gracious me. It's a lot of sounds. Okay, last one there. Come on down. A little bit of engagement through your abdominals. Keep your knees on the ground. Lift your front of your ribs towards back of ribs, and then try and push up with a straight back into your half plank. Walk your knees forward, and then you're just going to roll over. You can face baby or face away from baby, whatever you prefer here. She's singing. Right ankle over left knee here, and you're just going to rock your legs side to side. So we're just going to finish off with a few stretches, everyone. Well done. Now let's get a little bit of a deeper glute stretch if you're not already feeling it. Just flex that foot, so that will help protect your knee. And you can choose to walk your hands a little closer in. If you're still not feeling a stretch, lift your bum up towards your heel. Walk a little bit closer in from there. Yeah, there's some beautiful sounds. Okay. And then we'll go over to the other side, so you can walk yourself back to get into that. Left ankle over right knee. Flexed foot just to help with your knee a little there. It just gives it a bit of support. And then you can move from side to side. And then here again, we'll hold in center. Either just stepping your hands in, maybe moving your chest a little closer to your leg, or maybe you're taking it a bit deeper, lift your bottom up, move it closer to your heel, and then walk yourself in from there. And Tilly's just showing off her new trick, putting her foot in her mouth. It's very, very talented. I think we're almost there with this stretch. All right, releasing that. And I'm just going to turn around, so I've got my head closer to Tilly. Come up towards the top of your mat and just roll down onto your backs. We're taking a spinal twist, which should feel really nice to finish with. You'll start just by taking your knees to your tabletop position, both of them. Arms out wide to the sides. Take an inhale, then exhale, pour your knees across to one side. And then your shoulder might be off the ground here. You're just trying to let it fall down towards the earth, and that's fine. Gaze can be up to the ceiling or over that right shoulder. And just take a couple of deep belly breaths here. To come back to center, use your inhale. Bring your ribs, waist, and hips back to the ground. Then exhale, you pour across towards the other side. Again, left shoulder might be off the ground, that's fine. Just try and let gravity pull it back down towards the earth. Gaze again can be up or over your left shoulder. A couple of deep belly breaths there. And then when you're ready, inhale, draws your knees back up through center. Catch a hold of your knees here and just take them round in circles. One direction to start. So it feels like you're tracing your sacrum around a dinner plate. And then we'll do it in the other direction. And give your knees one more little squeeze in towards your chest. You can choose either to roll to your side to come up to a seated position, or if it feels nice, grab a hold of the backs of your legs and you can take a little rock and roll forward and back, just being mindful of Bub behind you. And then you can come up whenever you're ready. And ladies, you're all done. Feel free to stay on and say hello. Otherwise, if you need to run away, totally get it, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed that. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.